Hey guys, it's me, Lil Ninja, back with another video, and today we're doing What If Deku Had the Omnitrix. And this will be the last time, well, possibly the last time that I will be redoing this series. Maybe if I finish this series and a couple years later, I want to redo the series again. But for right now, I'm going to say that this is the last time that I'm going to redo the series. And, if I stop the series because nobody's watching it, then I'm probably just not going to do the series till like a long time away. Another thing is that can you guys watch my other videos, my other latest video that nobody been watching, and the series to that video? I'm pretty sure the video that I did is a Naruto What If, I'm pretty sure. But there's also no shoutouts today, as this is being made before the week that is posted. So without further ado, let's get into the video.
This shit high, boy.
Shawty catch a vibe, yeah, I had to put her on. Bought a two-seater, yeah, we heading for the sun. Shawty got my high, I ain't tripping for the funds. Yeah, I won't start, I ain't tripping, I'm a stun. Oh, living lively. Everybody tryna ride my wave, they can ride me. Pull up in a foreign to the curb, looking icy. I ain't never stressed about a fit, I'm on hype it.
We start off with a 10-year-old Izuku camping with his parents and his little sister, who, let's just say it right now, does have a quirk, which is a combination quirk of Hasashi's and Inko's, meaning she can control fire. With that, Izuku would still be quirkless and would basically, this would be the summer that would be trying to cheer him up, as he's been bullied for about 5 years for not having a quirk, and he just got out of the old school that he used to be in, as he did not want to be in that school because he didn't want to know Bakugo anymore. He just felt like Bakugo ruined his perspective of heroes, if that's what a person that a hero wants to be. But eventually a few years later, Izuku would find out that a hero is what kind of hero he wants to be. And he would decide that he's going to make sure all heroes are actual heroes, as they need to still have good moral values, and he will be the hero that will change all of that. He wants to be a hero even if he doesn't have a quirk. And this time skip would be right after, a few years after he would have this realization, as he's in the camp and he's getting firewood for his family and is basically wandering around the forest trying to gather any sticks or anything that he can gather to basically start a fire. Izuku, basically looking around, would have found a shooting star that was basically coming straight for him, like in the original Ben 10 show. If you did not know, this thing would just be headed straight for Izuku and would crash near Izuku, as Izuku is basically freaked out and did not know what to do at all. In Izuku's mind, he would have either decided to go, but he would try to be thinking what just happened, like he doesn't know what happened at all. Izuku would get closer to the thing that just crashed right in front of him, and would basically walk towards it, seeing that it's basically like a satellite. I'm saying basically a lot, but not really a satellite. It's more of a orb that looks to have something inside of it. Of course, this orb would open, and what do you know? There's an omnitrix inside, but he doesn't know that it's called an omnitrix. Of course, he would get closer, trying to see what this thing is, and the watch, like technology, would grab onto Izuku's arm, and he would try to get it off with all of his might. Of course, I'm going to be saying that this Omnitrix is not an Omnitrix that you have seen before. This Omnitrix is very different from all the Omnitrix, and yet the same as every single last Omnitrix. As this Omnitrix basically, I'm gonna explain the powers of this Omnitrix. It has all the abilities of the past Omnitrix, even the reboot. I'm gonna say it doesn't have that powered up ability that was basically temporary in season 2 of the reboot, season 2 of season 3 of the reboot. It does not have that, but it does have armor. It does not have Ultimate Ben's ability, but it does have Omniverse Future Ben Fusion Omnitrix ability. The Fusion Tricks? I forgot what that Omnitrix was called. It does have ultimate abilities, but it can go past ultimate, like what I like to call Ultra and then Omega. Ultra and Omega forms are basically it's basically like ultimate, but the aliens are evolved thousands upon thousands of years to the point where they're stronger, and that's just Ultra. Of course, these abilities aren't going to be unlocked for Izuku yet. These are just future abilities that will be happening. He does have all the aliens from Omniverse and even more that I will be introducing and figuring out as the series goes on. He does still have a time limit. That's one thing that I want to keep, as this will stop him from basically having too much power and being too OP. I'm not giving him Alien X yet. I want to give him Alien X closer to the end of the series, or even basically possibly in a future series that's like this, or basically not give him Alien X at all if it's possible. But he's most likely will get Alien X in part 10 to part 20. Yes, I really do want to finish this series, so that's all I'm going to say. He does still have, like I said, the time limit is 10 minutes, but as he grows, this time limit will eventually go away, which I'm also planning to be near the end of the series. I don't want to put it too close. I don't want to put it to the point where it's part 3 he already has no time limit. I don't want to do that. I did that for a couple of my series, and I really didn't like that. When I looked back at it, I really didn't like how I made them have that didn't have time limit. Basically, I'm going to be time skipping to Izuku's middle school years, his last year of middle school, and he would not be in the same school, and he would not be berated but for being quirkless, but he still would, people would still talk about him behind his back. Izuku would know this, and for these years he's been training with the Omnitrix, as of course he would have found out about the Omnitrix's capabilities. There are still a few more capabilities that I want to talk about. One more capability, I'm calling it invisible mode, as invisible mode makes no one can see the Omnitrix. Nobody can see the Omnitrix, not even Izuku. Invisible mode is activated by voice commands, so yeah. Oh, another thing I want to say. Oh wait, no, this is kind of already obvious, so I'm just going to explain that in later parts. We would be walking home as he is taking a shortcut, as out of nowhere a sludge-like substance starts latching onto Izuku's body and starts shoving all that sludge down his throat, as Izuku would hear a faint voice saying, "Don't worry, kid, I just need your body." As this sludge villain would be trying to take over Izuku's body and basically shoving himself into Izuku's mouth. Pause. So with that, Izuku would be struggling and would eventually figure out, he has an Omnitrix. He's going to take this man's down. Izuku would turn into gray matter, then slam the watch on his back, turning back into Izuku. Then he would transform into 4 arms, use a thunderclap, and basically splatter the sludge villain throughout the whole place. Izuku would slam his Omnitrix, turn back, and would set it into recharge mode, as the dial for his Omnitrix would be red and would eventually fade back into invisible mode. As All Might would be coming out of the sewers, like a hero and would basically get the sludge villain, put it in a bottle, and would fly off. Izuku not really needing any recognition like he did before, as he's more confident, as he has something that will help him become a hero, help everyone become better, as Izuku knows that with this, almost anything is possible, because he doesn't have Alien X yet. Izuku would basically go back home and would say hi to his mother and Izumi, which is what I'm going to be calling her, as I couldn't really think of anything original, and Izumi is basically just Izuku. Izumi. It's basically the same. Izuku going to his room and would start getting down notes, as he would have only unlocked one thing from these past few years, and that would have been fusion. Of course, he can fuse for this when in the future I will try to make him be able to fuse more aliens, but for right now he can only fuse 2, like in the original canon Omniverse series. So with that, Izuku only being able to fuse 2 aliens is kind of the best thing for right now. Izuku would take down notes and thinking what would be the best combinations. Someone that is like small and basically also as tough, but also someone that is smart. He would be thinking of different combinations, like a gray matter with 4 arms DNA, or even basically all different types of combinations. Every single different type of combination he's trying to figure out. Izuku would use the 10 months of training and would get even better with his aliens, as that's basically all I can say for his 12 months of training, as he doesn't really need those 12 months, but it's basically icing on the cake at this point. Izuku would arrive at the UA gates and would not fall this time, but he would still meet Bakugo telling him to get away from this building, as he doesn't even have a quirk. There's no way he's going to get in. Izuku would say, "It's none of your business if I become a hero or not. Let me fail or let me beat you and leave you in the dust, Bakugo." And then he would rush past Bakugo, as he is way more confident. I feel like I said that before. Izuku sitting down in his seat and would listen to President Mike. President Mike would state that there are 3 different obstacles inside of the exam. There is a 1-pointer, a 2-pointer, and a 3-pointer. Of course, Ida, being Ida, would stand up and state that there is something wrong, as there are 4 silhouettes, not 3. President Mike would say, "Yes, little listener," as Izuku would say little listener. I'm sorry, I haven't done what ifs in a while, because I've been doing a hiatus, like a long hiatus, but not to the point where it's like multiple weeks, I guess. Yeah, it's not multiple weeks, but it's short enough to get me to like not know what I'm talking about anymore. I used to be able to like create these on the fly without even having anything for the what if. Izuku being confused, as he didn't even get a pamphlet, and he wouldn't really care about this small mistake, as it's just a small mistake. President Mike would state that he was going to get to that, but there is basically a obstacle that couldn't even be considered a boss level. It doesn't give any points, and it's known as the 0-pointer, a giant robot that basically crushes anything near it. So if you have the option to avoid it, avoid it. Izuku would think, I'm not avoiding that thing. I should show how much power I'm packing, just to get on Bakugo's nerves. Izuku thinking this, knowing that he's going to be put with Bakugo, as they aren't from the same school in this one, he would get put into Bakugo's place, so he wouldn't be with Araka or any Ida or that anyone. Let me just say this right now. Yes, Araka still does survive. A hero would save her. Izuku being at the gate would be ready to rush in, knowing that he is going to fly past this. Izuku thinking, what kind of alien should he use? Maybe a combination? Nah, he's not gonna show all his cards just yet. Izuku would transform and would be accelerated, blitzing past every robot and destroying every single one that he's blitzing past. Izuku going through basically every section, just zoom, destroys a robot, zoom, destroys another robot. It's basically, he's so fast that it takes them a while to register who took down a robot and if it was Izuku, as there would be footage of Izuku transforming and they would realize something's kind of off. That's a weird kind of quirk. All might be thinking that it's just a transformation quirk. Of course, Izuku would go transform back and then transform into forearms and start beating the daylights out of other robots. All Might would think 2 quirks, it's rare, but it's still possible. Then Izuku would change back and transform into way big. Okay, 3 points is kind of pushing it, but it's still kind of possible, as All Might would be thinking this. A few minutes later, Izuku would be another alien again, showing off all 10 aliens at this point. All Might would be thinking, 10 quirks? How is that possible? It has to be him. Izuku would basically be careless as he's showing off all 10 of his aliens and taking down many robots as well. Of course, the 0-pointer would eventually arrive and Izuku is ready to take this guy down. Of course, Izuku would turn back into way big and basically slam his whole fist into the 0-pointer, taking it out. Izuku turning back with Bakugo being right behind him. Bakugo would say, "You had a quirk the whole time?" Izuku would state that no, he's just a late bloomer. Oh, and he would walk up to Bakugo stating that he's glad they weren't friends. Because you treat quirkless people like they're dirt. And Izuku would walk off. Izuku would basically go back home and would be waiting for his letter to UA, as his sister would also be waiting for her letter to UA. I meant to say that they were twins in the beginning, but I think I said she was his younger sibling. I think I said that Izumi was his younger sibling. I don't completely know. Tell me in the comments if I did say that Izumi was his younger sibling. I meant to say twins. Just let you know. Izumi would have been in a different testing ground as they go to the same school. So, yeah. Izumi being in the same testing ground, not the same testing ground, they would not be able to work together. Izumi and Izuku waiting for their letters to arrive, and Izuku already knowing that he passed as he got the most points out of anyone in UA history. It's basically no one will touch this man's score for years upon years. It would take many years for anyone to even get a little tiny bit close to Izuku's score. I'ma say Izuku got 10,000 points. Yes, 10,000 points. Izuku, the reason why Izuku got 10,000 points instead of like 500 or something, because I'm gonna say that he defeated 500 robots, but in defeating those 500 robots, along the way, he would have saved many people, getting him even more points than what was needed. A perfect of 10,000 points in total. Of course, 500 robots is not, I'm not calculating how many points that would be, as there's a mixture of 1-pointer, 2-pointer, and 3-pointer in there, so I'm not going to be doing that. Without further ado, that is where I will be leaving off this what if. I hope you liked the video, and I hope you watch my other vids as well. Little Ninja is out. See you guys.